What is the hidden potential of Render, the AI token? Now, it is currently trading at about $3.90, and I've been talking about this token because it does have a bullish setup. Like with a lot of these altcoins that have been around for a little while, and they have been on a downtrend since either March of last year. If you guys have been here in March of last year, you guys know what I'm talking about. Or since maybe the beginning of this year, right? If you guys have been here for, for a little while, you guys will also know what I'm talking about, right? Because those were the times when crypto has been, going on a downtrend, right? Now, on render here, this is the weekly time frame, and this huge falling wedge pattern, which is basically a downtrend, has formed back in March 2024, right? What I'm talking about. And another top here in basically December of last year. So basically, you got your two tops because those were basically the downtrends, right? You guys have seen with a lot of the markets. Now, this is a falling wedge pattern, and falling wedges has formed a falling wedge pattern, and falling wedges are bullish patterns that has a higher chance of breaking to the upside. Don't just take my word for it. You guys can Google it. You guys can ask ChatGPT. You guys can ask Grok, or even any of the other AI chatbots here, just to get to know the patterns more yourself, because this is going to be the most important pattern and probably the most common pattern you guys will see if you guys start charting your charts, right? And they're very effective because they usually give me a opportunity for a lower risk entry rather than chasing pumping green candles on the day of or on breakouts, right? Those are riskier, right? A lot riskier, in my opinion. Now, render here has formed a falling wedge pattern on this weekly time frame, and the price target, which is basically you measure the opening of the pattern and then you put it on top of an expected breakout point. For in this case, it's going to be right here. Let's just say, for example, that will give a price target for render of just right underneath $20 price targets. Now, price targets are estimates only. There could be more, there could be less. Okay, very much depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts dumping, that's going to be very bad for the altcoins. So you want to be rooting for Bitcoin. I have done a more detailed video on Bitcoin earlier today. I will link you guys at the end of this video. I never trade altcoins without a clear understanding of Bitcoin because that could really wreck your trades. Now, this is render going back into this pattern here. I also look for things that are happening within the pattern because it tells me where the price action could be going, because even though these patterns has a higher chance of going in one direction, they still have a chance of going the other direction. I've seen falling wedges break down. Okay, it happens, and because this nothing in this market is 100%. Okay, now, from within the pattern here, I talked about a falling wedge, a double bottom pattern here. First bottom right here, second bottom right here. That is also a bullish pattern that usually breaks to the upside. Now, this double bottom here, it has a resistance here at about $5.50. Render is working its way up towards that level, okay? It is also in a very tight range right now because the weekly 200 SMA has just appeared at about $3.70, okay? And that is your support. Your resistance is going to be about that weekly 21 SMA at about $3.90. So very tight range that render is in right now on the weekly time frame. On the daily time frame, it has gotten on top of some of these moving averages, right? Which is good because when you get on top of moving averages, they're now your supports. So let's see what render does here. I talked about a falling wedge here as well. On this daily time frame, price target would be about $4, just right underneath $4.90 there. So let's see if it can hit some of these price targets before heading to the bigger one at about almost $20. So this is basically what I'm looking at for render. Let me know if you guys want to continue seeing any more of this coin or any other coins in this market by dropping a like, comment, subscribe. I'll pick a request to do for you guys on a daily basis.